This week, the investor who called the 2008 housing crash, Michael Burry, placed a bet worth about $186 million that Nvidia is going to fall. And the reason he gave should make you look at the entire AI boom differently. His claim, in plain English, a huge chunk of the demand for Nvidia's chips isn't coming from real customers at all. It's Nvidia's own money going out the front door and coming right back in the back door. Here's the question I want to answer by the end of this video, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. When Nvidia hands billions of dollars to the very companies that then turn around and buy Nvidia chips, is that real demand or a magic trick? Stick with me and I'll show you exactly how the money moves, who actually gets paid, and why some of the smartest people on Wall Street think this loop could be the first domino in an AI crash. 3 things: what Nvidia is really doing, how big the loop actually is, and what happens if the music stops. So let's start with the thing that set Burry off. Just this week, reports say Nvidia is weighing a plan to backstop up to $250 billion in financing for an OpenAI data center, and separately, to help finance OpenAI's purchase of hundreds of billions of dollars in Nvidia chips. Read that again slowly. Nvidia is putting up the money so that its own customer can afford to buy Nvidia's products. And this is not a one-off. Last year, Nvidia said it would invest up to $100 billion in OpenAI. OpenAI, in turn, is spending eye-watering sums stuffing its data centers with, you guessed it, Nvidia chips. Yahoo Finance put the question bluntly in a headline: how much of the AI boom is just Nvidia's cash being recycled? That's the mechanic, and it's the strange part. In a normal business, a customer earns money somewhere else and then chooses to spend it with you. That's a real vote of confidence in your product. But in a circular deal, the money starts with the seller. Nvidia invests in OpenAI, OpenAI buys Nvidia GPUs, Nvidia books the sale as revenue, the stock goes up, and every new spending announcement gets read as proof that demand is endless. You buy from me, I invest in you, and everything looks amazing right up until one of us has a problem. Now, here's what most people miss. It is not just Nvidia. Once you know the pattern, you see it everywhere. Nvidia's rival AMD signed a deal to put its chips in OpenAI's data centers and handed OpenAI the option to become one of AMD's largest shareholders. Nvidia took a 7% stake in a cloud company called CoreWeave, and then agreed to buy more than $6 billion of cloud service back from that very same company. Microsoft backs OpenAI. OpenAI has committed to buy $250 billion of Microsoft's cloud. Everyone in the circle is quietly financing everyone else's spending. Let's talk numbers, because the scale is genuinely hard to believe. Add up OpenAI's promises alone and you get a wall of money. Around $300 billion pledged to Oracle, $250 billion to Microsoft's Azure, well over $100 billion to Amazon, and tens of billions more to AMD and others. Bloomberg mapped the whole web of deals, and analysts estimate more than $800 billion is tied up in these interlocking arrangements. Some tallies put it past $1.1 trillion, $1 trillion of promises circling between maybe a dozen companies. So who actually gets paid in all this? In the short run, almost everyone. Nvidia books record revenue and its stock stays sky high. The cloud builders, Oracle and CoreWeave, lock in giant guaranteed customers, which makes it easier for them to borrow even more to build data centers. OpenAI gets the computing power it needs today without having to be profitable yet. And the banks and bondholders financing all those data centers collect their fees and their interest. As long as the loop keeps spinning, every single player looks like a genius. But here's the catch, and it's the whole reason Burry is betting against it. All of this assumes that at the far end of the loop, real people and real businesses will pay enough for AI to justify the spending. Burry's argument is that the demand is being manufactured inside the circle, that if you strip out the deals where the seller is funding the buyer, actual end customer demand is far smaller than the headline numbers suggest. He even pointed to a report from the Bank for International Settlements warning that AI infrastructure spending is hiding a lot of financial leverage. In his words, the circular spending has reached biblical proportions. And that is the risk. In a healthy market, if one company stumbles, it fails alone. But in a tightly linked loop, everyone holds pieces of everyone else. If AI revenue disappoints, if the paying customers don't show up in the numbers people expect, one company pulling back could force the next to pull back and then the next. The same connections that make the boom feel unstoppable on the way up are exactly what could make it unravel fast on the way down. That's what people mean when they call this a systemic risk, not just one risky stock. So, is it a bubble, or is it just what building the future looks like? Maybe the demand is real and these deals simply pull the future forward. Or maybe Michael Burry is early again and we're watching $1 trillion chase its own tail. Here's my real question for you. If a company has to fund its own customers to keep the sales coming, is that demand actually real? Tell me in the comments. I read them. If this made the AI money machine finally click into place, subscribe to Mind Blitz. We break down the biggest moves in AI and money every single day. And if you want the other side of this story, the one giant that is quietly making a fortune without betting the house on AI, watch my last video, How Apple Makes So Much Money Without Betting on AI. I'll see you in the next one.